Max the Mouse and his big backpack adventure. Welcome back to another episode of Happy Meadow Tales, where kindness grows and every day brings new adventures. I'm your host, Steve Kitts. Today, we're going to follow a very special little helper, Max the Mouse. Now, Max isn't your ordinary mouse. Oh no, he's a pack rat, which means he loves to collect things. Buttons, bits of string, shiny marbles, paper clips, you name it. And he carries them all around in his big bulging backpack. Every day Max sets out with a smile and says, "Let's see who needs help today." The morning sun was warm and golden as Max scampered along the pathway towards Mama Bunny's garden. There she was, Mama Bunny, wearing her straw hat and humming softly as she planted carrots. But something wasn't quite right. "Oh dear," she sighed. "My watering can is broken." Max tugged off his backpack and rummaged inside. "Don't worry, Mama Bunny. I might have just the thing." He pulled out a tiny metal funnel and a bit of rubber tubing and, of course, some string. "Here, we can make a new spout for your watering can," he said. Mama Bunny's ears perked up. "Oh, Max, what would we do without you?" Together they fixed the watering can, and soon water sprinkled all over the garden like soft rain. The flowers seemed to smile, and Mama Bunny handed Max a fresh carrot. "For your travels," she said warmly. Max grinned. "Thank you, Mama Bunny. I'll make good use of it." And off he went, the carrot sticking out of his backpack. Down by the pond, Grouchy Ben the Beaver was having a rough day. He stood at his dam, frowning and muttering to himself. My dam leaks again, and the sticks won't stay put." Max scampered to the bank. "Good morning, Ben." "Morning. More like miserable morning. This whole wall is falling apart." Max didn't mind Ben's grumpy tone. He just smiled and said, "Let's see what we can do." He dug through his backpack, clink, clatter, rustle, clunk, and pulled out some flat stones, a bit of twine, and a tiny wooden wedge. "These might help," he said, hopping down beside the dam. They worked together, Ben patching the gaps, Max wedging the stones and tying branches tight. Soon the dam stopped leaking. Ben blinked in surprise. "Well, I'll be. It's holding strong." He gave Max a crooked smile. "You're all right, little mouse, even if you do carry half the meadow in that backpack." Max chuckled. "You never know when you need something, and it might come in handy." Ben laughed, a deep rumbling sound that shook his whiskers, and waved as Max headed off down the trail. As the sun dipped low, Max arrived at the edge of an old oak tree, where Ollie the owl lived. Ollie was perched on a branch, blinking slowly. Well, Max the Mouse," Ollie hooted. "Care for a riddle this fine evening?" Max loved riddles, even though they sometimes made his whiskers twitch in confusion. "Of course," he said eagerly. Ollie cleared his throat. "I'll fly without wings. I'll cry without eyes. Whenever I go, darkness flies." Max thought real hard. Flies without wings, cries without eyes. He dug through his backpack and pulled out a tiny bell and a paper fan, and a feather, as he thought these might help him think. Then his eyes lit up. "I know! It's the wind!" Ollie hooted happily. "Correct as always, my clever little friend." Max blushed beneath his fur. "I had help," he said, patting his backpack. Ollie chuckled. "It's not what's in the pack, Max, but it's what's in you that makes the difference." Max smiled softly, feeling proud. As the night began to fall even darker, Max heard a tiny sniffling coming from a patch of grass. He peeked closer and found a little firefly, Fontaine, her light flickering dimly. "Oh dear," Max said gently. "What's wrong, little one?" "I have lost my way home," the little firefly whispered. "My light's running out and I can't find my family." Max's heart was melting. "Don't worry, I'll help you." He dug through his backpack one more time and pulled out a shiny marble. It caught the moonlight just right and sparkled brightly. "Here," he said, tying the marble to an end of a bit of string. "Follow this glow, and it'll lead you back to the woods and your family." Together they walked, the marble shining softly, guiding the way. Before long, tiny lights began to twinkle in the trees up ahead. "My family!" the little firefly cheered, zipping around in delight. "Thank you, Max." Max waved as she flew off to join her glowing swarm, her laughter dancing in the night air. Tired but happy, Max returned to his cozy treehouse. He emptied out his backpack. Out came buttons and ribbons, pebbles and twine, all spread across the floor in a colorful jumble. He smiled, remembering how he got those each stop of the day. "Let's see," he said to himself. "I fixed a watering can for Mama Bunny, a sturdy dam for Grouchy Ben, a riddle with Ollie, and helped a happy firefly find her family." He yawned, pulling a big soft leaf over himself like a blanket, and whispered, "Not bad for a day's work." As he drifted to sleep, the moonlight glowed through his window, shining softly on his big, helpful backpack. Well, that's our story today for Max the Mouse and his big backpack. A day full of kindness, clever thinking, and friendship across Happy Meadow. Our moral of the story, that helping others doesn't take much. Just a kind heart and a little creativity and the willingness to share what you have. Well, thank you for joining me on this episode of Happy Meadow Tales podcast. Until next time, remember, even the smallest friend can make the biggest difference. God bless.